Alrighty guys, if you are watching this video, then it is a very good chance that you are trying to get into day trading, right? And so I am making this series of videos, which is about to be 20 to 30 minute 20s of the, Alright, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance you are trying to learn day trading and you are starting from completely nothing. I'm making these series of videos to help teach the brand new trader how to day trade, right? Nowadays, in the society where we live in, we have a bunch of people who are charging thousands of dollars for a course where they're not uploading free content on YouTube anymore. It's just Instagram Reels where you cannot learn as effectively. So I'm making this series to help anyone trying to get into day trading. Um, and yeah, if you're wondering who I am, my name is Sean. I'm 21 years old. I have been day trading now for about 3 years. Been doing it profitably for about a year and a half. So far in the past 2 weeks, I'm up $17,000, looking for a 40K month. Last month, I had that 40K month. And I am no different than any of you guys. I was just a kid who was 18 years old trying to learn how to make money, how to improve my life. Now at 21, I have changed my life. I have gotten that freedom. I live the way I want to live. And yes, I'm no different than you guys. The only thing that sets us apart is I have the knowledge and I have the patience. But lucky for you, all these videos are intended to teach you that knowledge and that patience. All right? So in this video, this is simply going to be an introduction, right? I'm not going to go over any of the actual educational stuff really today. This is just going to get you into the flow of what we're going to be learning and how I'm going to teach it, right? First things first, these videos are going to be super raw. I'm not going to edit these videos much just to keep it more personable and all of that good stuff, right? I don't want to cut out stuff that you guys might have wanted or might not have wanted, right? So bear with me if the videos are a little bit slower and whatnot. But yeah, so I'm gonna go throughout this series, right? We're gonna start off with the basics, and then we're gonna start combining basics, and then building a strategy and all of that good stuff, right? But today is simply going to be an introduction video, and we're going to talk about what we're trading, how we're trading, and the journey itself. So as you can see here, by the way, for this introduction video, we are going to use a slideshow. For the rest of this videos, it's going to be mostly just on chart examples once we show you guys how to figure out a chart and how to read a chart. Okay, so first, the three key steps of profitability is going to be embrace the process, detach yourself, and don't dwell, right? So as we can see here, these are the three focal points that we're going to have to look at here. Because at the end of the day trading is more of a mental mindset thing to become a profitable trader than it is a learning curve. It's the part that actually relies on your mental and your psychology is almost 95% of the entire game. Trust me, it is incredibly easy to learn a strategy, learn how to look at a chart, but it's incredibly hard to keep your mindset in focus here. So that's why you need to embrace the process. You're falling in love with the love of trading. You're not there for just the money. That's not how it works, unfortunately. You got to detach yourself from the money, because once you start thinking about money, you're going to be scared to take a trade, or you're going to be scared to lose money. You can't be doing that. You're going to mess yourself up. And then again, you can't dwell. You can't be upset you lost money. You need to analyze the market like a robot. You need to adapt and you learn from it. None of that. You can't be getting scared. Right? So this is why I'm saying embrace the process, not the profits, because at the end of the day, 98, maybe even 99% of traders fail. It's always their mindset. It's never the strategy. I can guarantee you, unless it's a horrible strategy. But don't worry, I'm not going to teach you guys a bad strategy. I'm going to teach you guys the same exact strategy that I've made 17K in the past 2 weeks and over 50K in past couple of months, right? So I'm going to teach you a strategy that is proven to work. And keep in mind, I'm only 3 years in. Another 2 years, these months are going to become $500,000 because I know I have a system that works. It's about scaling, right? So let's go through this list here. Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. I cannot tell you how many people think it is. Myself thought it was a get rich quick scheme. All these people online posting like how much money they're making, right? That's just not how it works. You are going to lose money. It's going to be a long time. It's going to be a painful time, but it pays off like anything in life, like any business, like any adventure. Good things take time, right? Also, looking at trading, I want you to zoom out and not look at each day, right? It's very easy to take a winning day or a losing day and be like, oh, I'm the best trader or the worst trader, but no, that's not what day trading is. Day trading is consistent wins and be able to control your emotions, not through just one day, but through months, years, all of that at a time, right? So here we're just simple other stuff. We're treating like we're gaining every single trading day. You wake up, you place a trade, you learn something, whether it's a loss or a win. You get 1% better every single day. That is the learning curve, right? So just like any other sport as well, day trading it takes practice, it takes reps, it takes time to learn how to get comfortable on the charts. As much as I can teach you anything and everything, right? There's a point where you have to get comfortable with it, and I can't teach you that. That takes experience, right? But if I can guide you in that way, the correct way, then that will severely push along that process of getting comfortable and getting in those reps, right? And then here, I want you to set short-term goals, not too short. I don't want it to be like, oh, make $1,000 today. No, set short-term goals that you can reach in like a normal goal, nothing too high, nothing too low, and then compound those short-term goals, right? So whether that's like, hey, I want to follow my rules, my trading rules every single day for a week, and then that long-term goals becomes into becoming profitable, right? And so each their own, and we'll get more into this as we go throughout more of these videos. But yes, I really want to focus on this part where I'm talking about detach yourself from money, right? When I say detach yourself from money, I don't want you to lose the value in money, even though it's super easy to have that happen, right? When I say detach yourself from money, I want you to stop looking at the P&L. I want you to stop looking at how much you're making or losing. I want you to start looking at if that was like, hey, this is a trade I want to take. This is a trade I shouldn't take, right? So this is what I'm going to teach you. And like, I'm going to teach you a strategy that will make you money, but it's up to you if you can detach yourself from having a losing day or not. And I know I might be going a little quick here and this could like scare people away, right? But this is just something I need to say now because I can't stress it enough later on how important it is to be detached from money. You need to follow your plan. Think about the probabilities. Trading is probabilities. You are gambling, but you are the casino and you have the edge, right? Casinos don't make emotional decisions. They trust the probabilities, and that's what we have to do as well. We have to make probabilities decisions, right? And then from there, you can manage your risk, and then we will execute the same exact way every single day. We're not like, oh, I think this is going to happen. No, we are going to follow our plans no matter what. Right? So coming with the detach yourself from money, you need to detach yourself from the trading. In the trading world, less is always more. You can't be sitting there every single day for 12 hours a day. One, that's not why we trade. We trade for the money, which is great, but we also trade for the freedom. We only want to be trading for only a few hours a day, and it depends on what type of strategy you have, because some different strategies have different times to trade. But for us personally, it's a maximum of 2 hours a day, and it's usually less than an hour. So that's why it's very hard to, if you stay on the charts long enough and you have that money in your hands long enough, you're gonna get attached to that account and to that trading, and psychology wise, you're going to want to place more trades which are not as good, right? Like you are, like as it says here, you're paid for decision quality and not how long you're staring at the screen, right? So we're going to be a sniper, and we're not going to be a machine gun. We are going to wait for those A+ setups, the ones that we know has a consistent probability of getting us money in the long run, right? We are not taking trades that we don't know the exact probability of. All right. So this kind of is going to wrap up our psychology part and kind of our introduction here. Is we're not going to dwell, we're going to analyze and grow, right? We're not going to beat ourselves over one trade. We're going to take it and we're going to learn from it. We're going to treat that loss as data, not as failures, right? We are going to look back at all these trades, right? And I'm not going to be looking at your trades. It's your job to start journaling trades and start journaling your mindset and start journaling maybe, oh, today I didn't even make my bed and then I traded worse, right? Like there's super small things like that you'll understand as time goes on, that you need to learn from it, right? We're not dwelling on it. We're analyzing what happened in the day, what happened on the charts, and we're going to grow from it, right? So psychology part is pretty much done. Now we're just going to talk about this trading journey, right? All right, and like the first thing I can tell you right now is I want you to embrace this journey fully and fully, right? I can teach you everything you need to learn, but it is up to you if you want to put in that time, that time and effort, right? The sacrifices that you're going to have to make, right? Trading, I cannot tell you how people think it's so easy, and it's just not easy. It's a very, very, very difficult occupation. You're risking money every single day, and you are risk on the table every single day. Like, it's a stressful occupation, right? So that's why I need you to embrace this journey. It's not just buying and selling. It's a whole journey, right? You'll learn things about yourself that you never thought you could learn about yourself, right? So at the end of the day, there's no shortcuts. I can promise you there's no shortcuts. I can give you the materials and stuff you need, but I can't just give you money. That doesn't work like that, right? Like, you can join groups where they'll tell you buy and sell here, right? And like, I do that myself for people, right? But like, it's up to them if they can risk the right amount, or if they can only take those trades. It's up to them. It's not up to me, right? So that's why there's no shortcuts, right? Second thing is, I want you guys to be careful on social media. Social media, everyone knows people will be posting stuff about how much money they make, their cool cars, right? Maybe it's rented, maybe it's not, but you never see the work they put in behind it to actually buy these cars, or maybe it's not even a real lifestyle at all. Maybe they're renting a car, right? So it's very important that you just focus on yourself and only yourself. If you are watching other people making a crap ton of money, then you're going to start risking too much. You're going to lose money faster, and you're going to forget about the process, and you're going to try to rush it, right? You can't rush it, right? Listen, in trading, I'm not going to lie, everyone thinks it could be a side hustle, and it easily could be, but while you're learning, it's not a side hustle. It needs to be a lifestyle, right? As I said earlier, everything you do in the day, it shows up on the charts, right? If you are a messy person, if you are someone who's lazy, if you're someone that doesn't take things seriously, and you just kind of like think it's going to be easy, right? Then it's not going to work. And there's one thing that I have noticed a lot about day traders, is that people who are, I wouldn't say athletic, but like sports players, because of that inner competitive drive, they have that discipline to like say, hey, show up to the gym every day, or I'm not missing a practice. Those are the type of people that make trading work the best, right? The people who don't have discipline, the people who don't go to the gym, the people who don't take care of themselves, don't have that discipline that is usually needed to make day trading work, right? So that's why what I mean by it's a lifestyle, not a side hustle, because there's so much that goes into day trading, way more than just the buy and sell and looking at the charts of trading, right? All right, and that's kind of our last example here is discipline also transfers. How you live life off the charts will pretty much show you how you trade, right? You need to have your life put together as best as you can. You need to be able to take care of yourself and be disciplined. All right, this is something that I'm going to recommend a lot. I can't force this on you because I know how easy it is to fall into these traps, right? So the first one is just stop scrolling on social media, right? Like the fast the what's the word? Not the fast dopamine, but yeah, the short form content has rotted our brains, mine included, 100%. Like, everyone knows this social media is rotting your brains, and that's why I'm going to say right now, that's probably why I'm not going to get a lot of people watching this, right? It's because people don't have that time to sit there and learn anymore. And if you can limit, it's very hard to say don't no more Instagram, no more TikTok, right? That's very difficult to say because a lot of our lives do depend on social media, unfortunately. But what I can tell you is to be conscious about it. Just like catch yourself, like you're rotting your brain, right? You're cutting that. Like, humans should be taking time to learn something. They should take time to master something, right? And like, these short form videos just fry our dopamine, and it's gonna wire your brain in trading to where you want the instant dopamine of making money instantly, when that's just not the truth, right? So that's why I say stop scrolling social media as much, because that quick dopamine fix you want is going to fry your trading, and it is going to mess you up completely in the long run, right? Okay. Whew. Okay, cool. This one, cut the time sinks to set up, you lose hours. Two, has to go. So what I mean by this is, I want you to focus on one trading strategy. I don't want you to take one trading strategy, take hours, days, months to learn it completely, and then go, oh, some guy on social media, oh, my friend told me to try this strategy because it's better, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not going to do that. We need to, you as your trader trying to learn, you need to plan out what you're going to do first, and you're going to have to stick with it, or else you're going to make this journey longer than it already is. And I'm not saying that you can't change around your trading, but what I am saying is to just focus on one at a time. I don't want you just wasting your time with a bunch of ball crap, right? And I'm literally going to teach you a strategy, and obviously it's a bias saying like, oh, don't learn someone else's strategy, just learn mine. But like, I mean, yeah, it's worked great for me. It's worked great for thousands of other people that I have taught for free. So like, all this stuff is, it's literally like, this is, I'm helping you. I'm trying to help you out here. Stick with this. If not, feel free to watch other people, but I'm just trying to tell you one thing at a time. Okay. Third step of eliminating distractions is we're going to change the room you're with. So what I mean by this is not physically change the room you're in. I will say trading in your bedroom is not as great as it is like trading in an office, but I know a lot of people won't have like a separate room for an office, but maybe even just like a kitchen or a living room or something that like that physical place could help you out. But that's not really what I mean by change the room you're in. I'm talking about the people you're surrounded by. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of great friends, but they're like me personally. I have friends who aren't like-minded like me, right? They're just there for a good time, right? They're just there to have fun, right? And you got to be careful if the people you're surrounded by are one, if they're hating on your journey, saying like, oh, you're just learning how to day trade, like it's not going to work. Then that's the people you can't be around. Like physically, you should not be around them. You should not be friends with them, right? I'm not telling you how to live your life, but this is just real advice. But your journey of learning how to trade and your journey of not even just trading, but in anything in life, if you are surrounded by those people who lift you up, those people that push you, then you are going to drastically, your journey is going to be improved significantly. Like you are going to learn more, you're going to stay more disciplined, right? You guys can bounce off of each other. I will say when I started learning how to trade, I was by myself. I kind of kept to myself for about a year and a half. I taught myself completely. I didn't talk to anyone, right? But then eventually I had friends and people I knew who were trying to get into trading, and then they all started kind of collaborating and bouncing off of each other and me as well. And just that community that you have can help you learn how to trade better, faster, stronger, all this good stuff. And that's also why I have a free Discord where we have that community as well, because I think it's super important to have a close community where you guys can have these like-minded people, right? You don't want these distracted people. You know the saying, you are the combination of the 5 closest people around you. Those 5 people can't be bums. They shouldn't be bums. They shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to improve my life. You can't be surrounded by those people if you want to improve your life. And I'm not saying cut those people out of your lives. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But like you gotta like look out for that, right? Okay. And at the end of the day, last one, eliminate distractions, is we're gonna protect the plan. We're not gonna let emotions or distractions trade for you, right? If you're having a bad day, say, oh, my girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever broke up with me today, and like you're emotionally not there, then it's okay to take a day off. Like same thing, if a loved one passes away, it's okay to take that day off, right? We're not gonna have distractions like, oh, my house is under renovations or something like that. Like it's okay. These are distractions. Like you can take these days off, right? Like that is something you need to be okay with. All right. Next thing we're going through is setting our goals. We're going to put them down in writing, right? Even though you're like, oh, I don't need to put them down in writing. Trust me, you're going to want to see a notebook where in 3 years, you're going to love to see that notebook where you see your goals. And then 3 years later, you get to see them completely done. You living your dreams, living your goals, right? This is something that would be really cool for you, right? Okay. Second thing is stay motivated. You need to have targets and sights. Like you're going to lose motivation. You're going to lose money. You're not going to want to do it anymore. And it's okay. You can quit, but it won't work if you quit. So you need to stay motivated. You need to keep that final target, that final sight within your eyes, right? Like you can't lose hope on that final goal, right? You need to keep your motivation, right? Step 3 here for setting goals is you need to track the progress, right? You need to see if you're doing is working or if it's not working, if you need to change something, maybe like, you know what I mean? So it's very important to see like, oh, this actually isn't working. Maybe I should do something different, right? So it's very important to track this progress, right? And then number 4 is again just even setting the goals. Have something to chase. Have the short-term goals. Feed into the big ones, right? Simple as that. We want to work for something, towards something. All right. So right here, part 3. What is day trading? This is going to get to the point. We're starting to get into the educational part here. It's not going to be this is just very basic knowledge. That throughout the end of this video, I'm just going to teach you how to set up a TradingView chart, and that's what we'll be doing all of our work, right? But yeah, so right now we're going to talk about what day trading is, and then soon we're going to talk about what charts are, right? This introduction video is going to be our longest video of this entire series, just because I want to get all of the introduction stuff out and about, right? All right, so what is day trading? The basics is we're buying and selling an asset within the same day. We are in and out. We're not holding it for weeks or months. We are just minutes to hours, and then we take profit or we take losses, however we think the market's going to move, right? If we think the market is going to go up, that is when we take a long. That means we are buying the asset. If we think the market is going to go down, we are going to short it, which means we are selling the asset. Yes, you can make money day trading whether it goes up or whether it goes down. You can make money both ways. Right, so we are going to be trading these future contracts, which means we have an agreement to buy and sell an asset of the future price, right? You never actually own the asset. You own a contract that has the ability to buy or sell the asset, right? So that's like saying, for this example, it's, hey, you bought a water bottle at $2, moves up to $4, you sell it at $4, you make $2, right? That's what we're doing, except not water bottles. We have digital contracts, right? So again, looking over this again, this is long positions and we have short positions. You can take profit from both of them, right? Depending on how price is moving. A long position, if you buy a contract at a lower price, say the contract was $10, sells at $20, you make $10, right? So if price rises through the session or it rises and then you click sell, like if you click buy, rises and then you click sell, then you make that profit, right? It doesn't have to be when the session ends, right? So sell higher and you always keep the difference, right? Short position will be the opposite. You sell contracts at a higher price, you wait for the market to drop, and then you can sell it back to the lower price and you make money, right? So you're technically, what you have for a long position is you have the right to buy the contract at a cheaper price. So when it's at a higher price, you can sell that difference. A short means you can sell a contract at a higher price. So when it's at a lower price, that means you can keep the difference, right? So, and also, if you're complicated by that, that's okay. This is all the nitty-gritty stuff of what day trading is. You'll realize that this stuff isn't that important. To be honest, it is simply it's just how it works. You don't really need to know what it is besides buy and sell, which you'll learn very, very soonly, like how this works on the actual charts. But what are futures? Well, future contracts are what we will be day trading. What I have been day trading. I've traded other stuff. I've traded crypto. I've traded Forex and all that stuff. I can tell you right now, by experience, futures is by far the best and the easiest. So why are we trading futures and not stocks? Stocks are tied to companies' fate. There's a lot of times where there's like, oh, this company's not doing as well, so it's going to go down, right? There's a lot of outside factors in there. One and another thing is there's less volume, right? There's less people trading a single stock than there are to people trading these future contracts, and we'll show you that later. There are algo bots that trade stocks, but they are not as clean as the ones that trade future markets, right? A part of why we know how to day trade is because we follow what these algorithms are doing, which are the market makers, which are these big firms who trade with billions and billions of dollars every day, right? So that's why we trade futures, because they have deep liquid markets, meaning there's a lot of money in these markets, right? There's a lot of people trading these. There's a bunch of volume all session long. Also, the sessions on futures markets are 24/5, meaning you can trade them Monday through Friday, day and night, right? We only trade them during New York session, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern, but it also gives you that option to trade other sessions as well, which I personally don't do. I do have a strategy that can trade night session, which I should probably teach and probably will teach in this course. But for now, that's just a benefit. I personally trade very specific price levels that show up every single day that work the absolute best on futures, and that's a huge reason why I trade futures. And they are in future contracts are intended for people to be able to day trade them, right? They are intended for this intraday trading, right? So what we will be trading is NASDAQ, which is the NQ, and then ES, which is the S&P 500, and then there's MNQ and MES. Both of them, MNQ is the exact same thing as NQ, and MES is the same exact thing as ES, but MNQ is a cheaper version of NQ. So we'll go over that in just a second here. So we're going to go over the size of contracts, right? So this is showing you how much a contract's worth and what we will be trading, right? So on the left here, we have the NQ contract, right? This is the top 100 tech stocks in the United States, right? This includes Apple, Amazon, Google, right? That's all 100 of those combined. So here these are the bigger size contracts. You need a lot of money to trade these. We probably will not be trading these at all, but I'm just going to go over them anyways. But 1 point, meaning when NASDAQ moves up or down $1, the position of your contract moves $20, right? So if you buy one NQ contract and NQ moves up 1 point or up $1, then you are up $20 in profit, right? So this is a lot of risk. You might not notice it now, but later down the road, it's a lot of risk. And then one tick is a quarter of that point, which is just a quarter of $1, right? And same thing here on ES, which is S&P 500, which is the top 500 U.S. companies in the United States, right? Similar here, except 1 point is now $50, and one tick is now $12.50. This makes ES seem like a more expensive contract, but not really, because NASDAQ trades at an actual price higher than ES does. So when you buy one of each other, you're usually risking around the same amount. But then again, we'll go more into this in deeper videos. This is just getting you used to these terms and getting used to seeing these phrases, right? So here are the micros, right? These are the smaller versions, the MNQ and the MES. The MNQ is the same exact thing as the NQ, just 1/10 of the size. Same thing with MES, it's ES, just 1/10 of the size. Both of them NASDAQ and then S&P 500. Now, 1 point is $2, one tick is 50 cents, 1 point is $5, one tick is $1.25, right? This allows us to be able to trade. You can always buy multiple of these contracts. So you can buy 10 MNQs, and that's just one NQ, right? But this gives you the ability to split up your risk better, where you can say, hey, I just want to buy 3 of these MNQs rather than having to buy one NQ, right? So that's why we trade these micros, because it allows us to manage our risk way better, and we don't end up losing money that we shouldn't be risking, right? Okay, while we trade the micros, preserve the capital, as I was saying. We could scale out properly, so we can take partials. So when you buy one NQ, right, you can only sell one NQ, right? You can't sell half an NQ, but you can buy 5 MNQs, and then you can sell 3 MNQs, and then hold the other 2 MNQs and sell them later, right? So that's what it means by scale out properly. You can't sell a half of a contract. So might as well just buy the smaller contracts, and that way you can take partials, right? And then this actually also helps with real risk management, right? We can risk how much we want to risk, or at least closer to the amount that we want to risk, rather than just risking over the amount. Minis are built for accounts with over $100,000, right? If you're watching this video, you probably don't have $100,000, not to assume. But yes, but we will also be trading prop firms, which we'll go over in a later video. We'll go do that after we learn some stuff about the charts. But yes. Okay, our next step here is going over TradingView. I'm actually going to go pretty quick through this, because this is something I'm going to leave this part of this slideshow in the description, where you can actually go in and look at the slideshow. So TradingView is going to be the app that we use, right? Actually, I can show this right here. This is TradingView, right? This is the app that shows us the actual stocks, right? There's a lot that goes into TradingView and setting it up, right? You do have to pay for it if you want to access extra features, right? You don't have to do that now. later down the road, you will want to do that, right? You can still look at these charts and get away with everything for free. But once you start actually putting money in the markets, you are going to want to buy their subscription, which is around $15 a month. I'll leave a referral link down in the description, but like, I don't know. I don't even think I get paid from it, to be honest. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys how we get into it and how to learn, like what you can do on TradingView and how to set it up real quick. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to leave these slideshows down below because there's a lot of words on these slideshows, right? This section is just intended to help you set up your TradingView account because I'm definitely going to get questions about how to set this up. If you're trying to learn how to trade and you already know what to do, then you'll already know how to do this. But yeah, so TradingView, we have TradingView plans, right? You can do the free, as I said, until you want to sign up, which you can actually start getting these indicators and a little bit more. You get more features that you are going to want later. It's usually about $15, right? But it's free right now. It's fine. But the first thing that we are wanting to do is we're going to make an account, right? You either sign up with Google, an email, an Apple account, whatever, right? So the first thing you do is you sign up. You're going to go in the top middle, you're going to see products and then super charts, and that's what you're going to click on, right? That's going to lead you to this screen right here where you have your candlesticks. Yours is going to look different than mine because I had colors on, right? And then here we're going to click this add symbol button right next to this new list, right? I'm sorry if I'm going quick here. Again, this is going to be down below, right? You can go look at this and take your time. Everything is broken down in the slideshow. And in here, you're finally going to add those contracts that we were talking about earlier, NQ, ES, MNQ, and MES, right? So, and that's underneath this futures tabs. We're going to search it up, NQ, ES, MNQ, and MES, right? Once you have that, it'll be here on your right side, which is your watch list, right? And then you'll have access to those charts. And then we're going to go over our time frames. You're not going to know what a time frame is right now, right? So this is something you can come back later. Honestly, I would come back later on this, right? Similar time frame. So this was just setting up like your favorite time frames, right? You see how these have stars next to it. That just means I can quickly go to those time frames, right? Setting up the drawings and everything like that. So all these positions, you have a long position, as we were talking about. If you are buying the market, it's a long. If you're shorting the market, you're short, you're selling it, right? So we have tools that show us where we are taking profit and stop loss at, right? Stop loss, take profit. This is for a short position, and then this is for the long position, right? So we'll have other tools that we use as well. Like right here, we have a rectangle and all of this stuff. This part of the video is I'm not teaching you what any of this stuff is used for. This is intended for you to set up drawings the way you want to, and because a lot of people ask for my settings on how my charts look, right? So through here, it's just showing you how to set up everything, right? Honestly, you could probably end this video now if you already know how to use TradingView, or you can just set up a TradingView account, right? TradingView is something that kind of just you learn how to use it over time, right? And you'll see me in the future videos actually showing the boxes that we are using and the tools that I will be using, right? So this is just intended to show you the settings for those boxes and tools, right? See, we're setting up lines here, and as you can see, I have stars next to them, right? And then all of this, all of the stuff that we have here, right? So as you can see here, I'm just going to go over that here, which pretty much what I was showing you is that here I have them starred, right? So all the projection tools are starred here, right? So they're easily accessible. All of my squares and triangles, right? These are all options that I use every single day. So that video, that part of the slideshow was simply just to show you how to set up these tools and all of that stuff, right? Watch other YouTube videos, play around with it, learn how the charts and TradingView actually work, right? Because that is something that is honestly the hardest when you first start, is just learning how to use the actual software. TradingView is easily the easiest charting software you can use, right? But in the future videos, the video after this video, you'll see me start actually using the charts, and you'll actually start to see how I navigate them, right? And you'll see how it becomes like the second language, right? And you start to learn just how to quickly use the software, right? So as I said, this will be in the description, right? So you can just go look at this and all of that good stuff. Take your time through there. If you have questions on this as well, I will be leaving that my Discord in the description of this video. So I will also leave my Discord in the description of every video where you can join there, and then you can also ask me personal questions. Leave a comment, but I will give you better responses on Discord. But anyways, I have over 300 slides, right? I'm not going to be using slideshows in the rest of these videos. This is the end of the introduction. Our next video, we will start getting into the actual candlesticks and the movement of prices, where we can start learning this pattern recognition, right? And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this first video. If you made it through the end of this, you're an absolute GOAT, absolute legend. This is going to be the slowest, most boring video that I have, but I needed to get it done. I needed to have this introduction here. I needed to just like show what I'm going to do for these videos. The next like 20 videos I'm posting will be super educational, and it will just get us right into the grind, right? Anyways, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and yes, peace out.